What was your favorite activity as a child? What was your favorite activity as a child? How does that activity compare to the things you enjoy now as an adult? How does that activity compare to the activities you enjoy now as an adult? If you were the person you want to be, what would you do? If you were the person you want to be, what would you do? What are you here now in this world, in this timeline to do? What are you here to do? If you haven't already, make sure you've found a quiet and comfortable space that you can be for the time of this meditation. You can be sitting or standing or lying down at any time during this meditation. Your eyes can be open or closed. Wherever you are, just take a moment to settle in. Allow your body to give over its weight, its full weight, to the surface that is supporting you right now. Allow your body to drop into that surface, heavy as can be. Just take a moment to notice that you are supported. Allow yourself to fully drop into your body. Allowing yourself to notice any thoughts of the day that might be swirling around in your mind. Just invite those two to just drop it down. You can feel that mind activity dropping down and flowing down your arms, out your fingertips. Notice the space, the air all around you. And even though it isn't solid, it also supports your ability to make this shape and space that is your being, the shape of who you are. Feel how the space around you, the air around you, also holds and supports you. And bring your attention to your breath. Just notice what it's doing. Feels good. You can welcome a deep breath. Might even turn into a yawn. You might slowly hiss out every last breath of your body that you might have been holding in all day, in order to make room for a nice, clean, fresh breath. When you feel ready, you can bring your gaze to the image of the Two of Wands, or just imagine it in your mind, however you see it in your mind's eye. And just notice how this image makes you feel. What energy do you feel from the Two of Wands? There might be a figure depicted on this card, a human, an animal, or even some other object. Take a moment to notice if you identify with this figure. Does this appear to be someone or something that you can relate to? Does this figure feel like it could be a version of you? Maybe in a specific time and place. Now, the Suit of Wands relates to the element of fire. The element of fire relates to movement, to passion, to one's sense of identity, and to action. Your inner fire is what drives you to be seen and to act in the world. This month, we are exploring the twos as the duality of their suits. I've suggested that the twos of the minor arcana tend to depict struggle or a dynamic between two things. The Two of Wands may be less clear what those two things are. Because this card represents a liminal space between where we are and where we are going. Might feel similar to the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, the figure is choosing, making up one's mind between one decision and another decision. Two of Wands is a little different. Not about making up one's mind, but about whether one acts or doesn't act. Not about whether one chooses to act or chooses not to act, but just whether it happens. Fire is about doing. You either do it or you don't. There's always a space just before you do, or just before you don't. When your Two of Wands card, your figure might be holding two wands. Whether or not those wands have any fire attached to them. I invite you to imagine two fires alongside yourself right now. You could imagine two candles burning on either side of you. You could imagine you were holding two torches. You could imagine you're sitting between two campfires. Let's take a few moments to make this imagined reality real for yourself. Maybe you have a memory of a fire. It can build up in your mind right now. Usually we light one candle, one fireplace, one campfire. What would that feel like to be sitting or standing between two of them? Can you imagine the physical feeling of that? Take time to notice what type of fires you've built alongside you. Have you lit two candles? So you may see the light flickering as the light breeze waves their flames. You're sitting between two campfires, you may hear the crackle of kindling as it burns. Whatever type of fire you have, imagine what type of light it casts around you if you were in the dark with those fires. Notice how much heat each of them gives off. What that feel like on your skin. Notice the smell. Most of all, just notice the feeling of sitting between these fires, knowing this is your liminal place between doing the thing that comes next, or simply staying where you are, staying with what you've done already, what you've done before. You can bring to mind a time when you took a plunge, you took a chance, you decided to just do a thing that you didn't expect yourself to do. Might have been something small, like approaching someone who looked interesting, who, even though you felt shy. Might have been something a little more daring, like getting up on a stage or a dance floor. And you weren't sure if you knew the steps or how to fit in or what to say. Might have been something bigger, like a move to a new place, or enrolling in school. If you can remember just one that had that feeling of taking the plunge. You weren't sure if you were going to do it, but then you did. And see if you can remember the feeling just before you did. That's what this liminal space is all about. Letting go of that memory, just bringing yourself back to the moment with those fires. Imagining the space all around you is dark except for any light cast by your fires. Imagine if you can look ahead of you, any signs of possibilities, your next step or maybe future next steps. Any signs of an activity or an action that's calling for you. Maybe you haven't answered yet. You're truly the person you wanted to be right now. What would you do next? If there is something calling to you, a possible future that's calling you toward it, just take a moment to notice why you haven't taken the plunge yet. Maybe why you don't even plan to. Maybe something you've always wanted to do and just never believed you were the type of person who could do that thing. Maybe there's just been other responsibilities. You've simply chosen something else for the time being. As we get ready to transition, just take as long as you need. With wherever you are right now. Bring that to a close. Noticing any insights or feelings that are important to remember, take with you. You may want to start deepening your breath. You want to find some movement in your fingers or toes. Or take a little stretch. Whatever helps you to transition back into here and now.